Have you ever thought about moving? Um, are you still thinking about moving? Are you weighing the pros and cons of moving from where you're currently at, whether you want to move to another state or move to another country, whatever the case may be? Well, me personally, I'm gonna tell you about my experience on moving from California to Mississippi. Um, the pros and the cons, my dislikes, my likes, um, and possibly the reasons on why I did leave in the beginning. So, like I just said, I'm from Sacramento, California. Um, I had relocated to Mississippi, South Mississippi, some years ago. Hasn't been too long, but it's been long enough for me to give some great insight on the move and my experience so far. Uh, So other than that, let's just dive right into it. You know what I'm saying? Finna smoke some and drink some. Hopefully I don't offend nobody, but if so, you'll be alright. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. So California to Mississippi, that's a big jump. Even when people down here in Mississippi ask where I'm from, because as soon as you hear me talk, you know what I'm saying, you automatically start asking questions. And when I say I'm from Sacramento, damn, what you doing down here? Da 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 da. But I will say this: since I was young, when I used to have homies and certain people move, it was going to Texas. Everybody started going to Texas, and I didn't know why, nor did I ask. But everybody was going to Texas. It seemed like that was just the new California all of a sudden, and things like that. But it wasn't until I got older that I made that move. I could really understand the moves and things like that. So let's go off of some of the differences with California and Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Things that you got to get used to. Um, Weather, first things first. It's very humid here. It's very humid here. You're gonna have some humidity every day. This is the only place that I've been to, well, the South in general, where it will fucking be hot as hell outside and still raining and not cold at all. You could be in some goddamn sandals, some shorts, and a tank top and be sweating like a motherfucker while it's raining in Mississippi or in other places of the South. I know it does that same shit in Georgia, uh, 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 Alabama, New Orleans, shit like that. Maybe even Florida, I believe, um, places that I've been to. But like I said, I think that's a South thing in general. The goddamn, the goddamn humidity is motherfucking crazy out of this world. And that's just gonna take some getting used to, especially if you're a black woman or a black male who likes to have their hair a certain way. As soon as you go outside, you know, from the environment of your house where you can control your airflow and all that, it's a whole nother ball game as soon as you walk outside. The air feels thick and things like that. Um, but another thing that goes with that weather is and before I even say that, let me talk about the sun real quick. When I was talking about the humidity, it feels like the sun is hella close to you. It feels like it's hella close to you. You know what I'm saying? But back to what I was about to say. Um, Natural disasters. That shit is a thing out here. You have winter, you have spring, you have fall. You got I don't know if I said summer already, but summer, spring, fall, winter, whatever else the case may be. Um, and you can add on something to your calendar when you are in the South. Hurricane season. You know what I'm saying? Hurricane season is a thing. Um, and that shit is crazy. I think hurricane season is like in June or July, one of the two. But since I've been in Mississippi, I've been through three hurricanes. I think the I think the highest category I've been in was category three. You know what I'm saying? Which I stayed home for. Depending on where you live and how you live, you're gonna want to leave from where you live at. If you stay by the water, you're gonna want to leave. If you're staying in a trailer, you might want to leave on cat two. You know what I'm saying? But I do know to go a tropical storm first, cat one, then two, three, four, then five, and that's just what it is. But I never been in a natural disaster before. Coming from California, people say, "Oh, don't you guys have hurricanes?" California does have hurricanes, but me personally, I never. I mean, a hurricane, earthquakes. Um, yes, California has earthquakes, but I never been through an earthquake. Um, I didn't hear people say, "Oh, did y'all feel that shake?" Me personally, I have never felt none of that shit. We have droughts, you know what I'm saying, in California, especially where I'm from. We had rivers dry up and shit like that. It goes to tell you the amount of rain that we getting if you have rivers drying up. You know what I'm saying? So the weather is one thing you really gonna have to get in tune with. Uh, for real, for real. Now, next, this is big to me. This is real big. This pretty much sells a lot of people on moving or not. You know what I'm saying? The cost of living. The cost of living is it's a big difference. It's a real big difference. The cost of living is a real big difference from California to Mississippi, and to be honest with you, California to the South. Period. You know what I'm saying? Think about the house you grew up in. Think about the house you're in right now, or the apartment you're in right now. Right? You could be in a two-bedroom apartment in California, and be paying 1,400, 1,500, 1,700, depending on what the case is. Now, you could take that same 1,700, let us leave that number at 1,700. You could fuck around and probably get you two places in the South. You know what I'm saying? You probably get you two nice ass houses with two big ass backyards. My residence right now, um, I have a three-bedroom house. You know what I'm saying? I have a nice front yard, and I have a huge backyard that I could most likely put a whole ass another house back there. You know what I'm saying? And park some cars back there. Big ass trees and things like that. So that's what the cost of living is real different. Your money's gonna take you more. You paying 2,000 rent. I'm pretty sure you can find your house that you have now. You can find something 10 times as better. You know what I'm saying? For half of that price. You know what I'm saying? With some land with it. Uh, Now if that doesn't, tell you some things right there that nothing will. But yeah, the cost of living is way different. Way different. You look at certain houses and you'll be like, damn, is that a scam? Hell nah. That's just the South for you. You know what I mean? And with this three-bedroom, big ass backyard, nice front yard, um, I'm not even paying over $1,000. I'm not even paying over $900. You know what I'm saying? Don't live in the projects, or none of that shit. You know what I mean? I live in a predominantly white um area. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, I live in a. There's a lot of retired people over here. You got some feds that stay over here. You got some local police that stay over here. You know what I'm saying? Not the highlight of my day, but they up over here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, some real shit. So the cost of living is way different, um, and that's the cost from everything, from buying a vehicle, from putting gas in that vehicle. You know what I'm saying? What do I mean by that? Well, in California, when you buy a car, you got to get it smog. If it don't pass smog, basically you can't even drive that shit. When I first got my car out here, the first car I ever got, I'm like, all right, I put this money away for this, put this money away for that, so I can sit here and know, like, I'm good to go when I need to, register this shit and get it smogged and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They don't do smogs out here. They don't do smogs out here. You can have a goddamn old school car from the 60s or the 70s in California, and to still put that motherfucker on the road, you're gonna have to smog that car. Now, past smog, here you are going to a shop, trying to figure out what it is that you could do to sit here and get that car to pass inspection, right? Right. You can have that same car that we just talked about for the 60s or the 70s, whatever the case may be, and have it out here. And it's a one-time registration. Still, no smogs. There's no smogs in Mississippi. I don't know about the whole South, but I know in Mississippi they do not smog vehicles. You know what I'm saying? There's no inspections like that. The only inspections you're really gonna get is when you go get you an oil change. They're gonna do the same shit. They're gonna check lights and et cetera, all that other BS. Um, well, not BS, but you get what I'm saying. So we have that my old school car. It's a one-time registration, if you ask me, because the car I got was old school, and when I went to go register it, I got my tags and my plates. They put antique plates on the car, and the registration on that shit is good until 2099. 2099. You will never have no shit like that in California. Ever. That's one of the most money hungry places you will ever be. So, and there's that alone. I didn't even pay no more than $30, and I think $30 is pushing. It was 20 something, but I didn't pay no more than 20 something dollars. You know what I'm saying, for my tags on my car. You know what I'm saying. Um, so just all that alone, right there. You know what I mean? Is the most two important things you're gonna worry about is your housing and your car. Because in the South, you have to have a car. Where I'm at, you have to have a car. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a vehicle. Period. Point blank. I'm pretty sure there's some ways around that, but take my word for it. You want to have you a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Just straight like that. So we got the weather, we got the cost of living. But is there anything else of the cost of living? Exactly. Gas prices. Almost $4. It's almost $4 for gas back home. $4 fucking for gas. You know what I'm saying? Like $4. Out here, gas is like 230 something. I didn't see gas get so low. I didn't almost seen gas at 199 here. 199 here. You know what I'm saying? And that makes me think about when my mom used to tell me how like when she was growing up, gas was like 99 cents. 99 cents for some gas. God damn. But those times have sailed clearly. But yeah, gas is hella expensive in California. You know what I mean? Especially if you had an SUV. You got an SUV. Oh, I feel for you. I feel for you, especially in the summertime, trying to run that AC and shit like that. But it's easier out here. The gas is cheaper. I'm really not too familiar with the pricing on cars and things like that. But like I said, the gas is like 230 something, and that shit can be 220 the next day. The highest I seen gas here was 260 something. Um, I have never even seen diesel gas over $3, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't even seen diesel over $3. You know, but let's talk about location, right? Location. Now, where's the main places that people travel to when they live in California or just in the world, period? That's not already in the South. Atlanta, Miami, New Orleans, um, Vegas, which is not in the South, but these are the main places that people travel to is LA, New Orleans, um, in the places I just named and shit like that. Nigga, I'm getting too high for that. That's the places and location, location, location. Now the location that I'm in, I would have to say is pretty ideal. 5 hours to get to Atlanta, 30 minutes to get to Mobile, Alabama, 45 minutes to get to New Orleans, about what's it like 7 hours So that's like 6 hours for me to get to Texas. Um, Florida is like 2 hours away. You know what I'm saying? So you think about all these great party cities and party towns and shit like that. I mean, I never thought I'd be 45 minutes away from just driving up the street to Bourbon Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? Um, just go to Mobile real quick, things like that. But you're around all these different places that you can get to so damn quick if you are a person who enjoys to travel and goes to certain cities and you're a party person and you like to go to these party towns and things like that. You don't have to travel. You really don't have to travel. Um, you really don't have to travel like no way, shape, form, nor fashion. That'll just be a waste of your time. So when you sit here and think about the location, the cost of living and the weather. The only thing that might, fuck you up about the weather is the hurricane season, which brings me to the same thing we're talking about, which is the cost of living. Now, when you have you a house, you gotta watch out for the zones, you know what I'm saying? Because basically you're on the Gulf Coast. You're surrounded by water. So most spots, like even on a cat tube, your area is probably gonna flood, which means you're going to have flood insurance on your house, which is a federal requirement down here. It's not like how you can get liability insurance on a car or full coverage. It's like this is not an option. You have to have flood insurance if you're living in a certain zone. You know what I mean? Period, point blank. Which you're gonna want to have it anyways because this water down here is no joke. It's no joke. You know what I'm saying? This shit this shit takes buildings, casinos, and throws these motherfuckers miles and miles away. I seen it. I'm still seeing the devastation from Hurricane Katrina. That was before my time of living out here, but certain spots is still not put together from Hurricane Katrina. There's hella empty lots. Certain people did even certain casinos didn't even choose to come back. They sat here and I don't even know, but there's new casinos here and they just didn't rebuild. You know what I'm saying? But that flood insurance, that's going to be a bitch for you, depending on where you live. Me personally, I don't pay flood insurance. I don't live in a flood zone, but it can still flood over here, drains, things like that. Yeah, but just around the corner, one of my folks, you know what I'm saying, who I know out here, woke up in the middle of the night. She got 4 feet of water in her damn house. You know what I'm saying? So it could be just like that. Um, it could be just like that. So it is what it is. But when that hurricane season does come, the whole vibe in the air, you know what I'm saying? And we're past the cost of living now, but the whole vibe in the air is crazy. You're not gonna find no ice. You're not gonna find no water. You're not gonna find no batteries. You're not gonna find no flashlights. You're not gonna find no candles. People are gonna overstock. People are going to overstock because you never know. I done been without electricity for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? And that could be a long ass 3 days because you don't have no AC in your house. It's hot outside. I have a brick house on top of that. So when it's hot, it's hot. When it's cold, it's cold. Period. Point blank. So they have hurricane parties down here though. They seriously have hurricane parties down here. That shit is crazy to me. That shit is just crazy to me. So yeah, you got hurricanes, which is one of the things you're gonna have to prepare for. Always have you extra stock of water. You know, stock up on water all the time. Stock up on candles. Get a generator. Things like that will get you through some of these storms. You know what I mean? Get you a generator that has a high voltage because you fuck around just went shopping the other day. Now you have electricity, all that food. You want to throw that shit in the trash because you don't know. Like I just said, you don't know when your electricity is coming back in. Uh, and it could be a long time. I done seen people go 2 to 3 weeks without electricity, 2 or 3 weeks, and I had to go 2 or 3 days, and I thought that was something. I really did, but hell nah, it ain't. So these are some things that you should think about when you leave it, if you want to leave. Um, even motels, even motels are different down here. They have the same shit. We have the Motel Sixes and the Super Eights and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but the pricing very different. I know back home, even for like a weekday, rooms is like 60 something dollars, damn near 70 something dollars with tax. And on the weekend, that shit goes up by like $10, $15. Out here, even like on a weekday, rooms is like 40 something, 50 something dollars. Weekend it's like 60 something dollars and and shit like that. And so it's a difference on everything when it comes down to this shit here. Um Different what's the word? Celebrations. You know, where I'm from, I don't really recall. I don't recall any huge celebrations that California does that the whole world doesn't really do. You know, but out here, there's levels to that shit. Mardi Gras, I didn't heard of it. I didn't seen it on cops. You know what I'm saying? But to actually be down here and experience Mardi Gras though, now that's something different. Number one, it's actually a holiday down here. There's no school for Mardi Gras. Yeah, there's no school for Mardi Gras. They shutting down streets. There's really floats going on in the streets through neighborhoods. It's like a big ass parade, and they doing it all over. They doing it in Alabama. They doing it in New Orleans. They doing it in Mississippi. It's Mardi Gras is a real thing out here. The vibe is nice. The people are crazy as hell, having a good time, getting fucked up. Um, and it's for everybody. It's not for the whites. Everybody celebrates it. The Filipinos, blacks, whites, whoever the fuck is here. You know what I'm saying? They just gonna it's gonna be a big ass celebration. Period. Point blank. But speaking of, when I said Filipinos, made me think. Even coming from California, you know, I thought we had all the Mexicans there. I love my Mexican community, period, point blank. I grew up with Mexicans, so it is what it is. I gives no fucks. But I have never seen a border patrol car before until I came to Mississippi. You have your local police, you have the state trooper, and you also have goddamn border patrol. These motherfuckers is actually riding through the streets. These motherfuckers is actually riding on the freeways, pulling motherfuckers over. Like to me, that shit was like, what is that? Does that say the first time I seen that shit? I said, does that say border patrol? Like border patrol, they really out here fucking with people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real. Like I never seen that shit back home. Like, cause you know, when I was growing up, if you want a certain shit done, you could pull it to the A&P early in the morning or a Home Depot early in the morning, and you gonna have some hard working essays out there, um, ready to come in, work their ass off, and they gonna do a good ass motherfucking job too. The hustle of the Mexican community is crazy. Like them some working ass, hustling ass people over there, and you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. Ain't no niggas really jumping up at no 4 in the morning to go sit in front of no goddamn gas station or no Home Depot, risking to get deported or just to probably get lowballed off some bread, and that's if you get picked to get to work that day, because there'll be hell of them out there. So you got to have some respect for the Mexican community. Period. Point blank. You know what I'm saying? I do. I don't know about you, but that shit was a shock to me. That shit was a shock to me. It's coming from California. You got all type. You got everybody there. You have the Hindus. You have the Asians. You have the Samoans and Tongans. You have the blacks. You have shit. You got everything there. You know. Since I've been in Mississippi, I have not seen one Tongan, not one Samoan. Um, I'm trying to think if I had seen a Hindu or Indian descent. I don't know how they go by with the woo, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, but I will tell you, whites in California, whites in California, and whites in Mississippi, two different whites, two different whites. Um, and I really don't even know how to explain it. I'm still trying to explain this shit, but the first thing I thought about when I thought about Mississippi was that movie Life. You know what I'm saying? You remember that movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, the chain gangs and all that shit? Do you know in Mississippi or the South period, they still running their prisons like that? Motherfuckers are still digging ditches. Motherfuckers are still riding on horses. These motherfuckers are still in the fields. That's a real motherfucking thing. They is really in the field, like for real, for real. That's it's damn near like hard labor, you know what I'm saying? And you know, if you go to prison or jail in California or other places, I mean, yeah, you got your work shit, but it ain't nothing to the extreme like these guys got going on. You might working in the kitchen or some shit like that, or the library and things like that. But you're definitely not digging no motherfucking ditches. You definitely not finna see no motherfuckers riding on no horses and shit like that. It's just a whole ass culture shock to the point where when you even thinking about the jail or the prison system out here, clearly it's not ideal. But we'll get back to the whites from Cali and here in a minute. But one of the biggest shocks about that is when you leave from California and they're just now starting to make certain shit acceptable and more accessible to the community. And then you come out here and it's like a Schedule 1 drug and shit still. You can get a life sentence for some weed out here, like on some real shit. Um, you can really get a life sentence out here for that shit, especially if it's not your first encounter with the law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? So you got that. um, what else? But yeah, like I was saying, the whites here and the whites there, two different whites. Like I said, this is the country. So women here are more handy, I will say. Even the ones who are girly, they're hella country. You know what I'm saying? Hella country. And one thing that they have in common here is the discreet racism. Now, I thought when I was coming to Mississippi, I'm thinking Klan, I'm thinking hella pickup trucks and Klan rallies and shit like that. You know, not really the case. No way, shape, form, nor fashion. I've actually seen more genuine white people out here than I have any fucked up white people out here. To the point where if you having a problem on the side of the road, you probably gonna have your white person stop to help your black ass before you have a nigga stop to help your nigga ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth. So niggas don't change wherever you go. Niggas do help niggas, but in certain situations though, niggas ain't finna stop to help nobody. But a white person out here like that southern hospitality, I guess that really is a thing though, because a white man, a white woman, a white family will be on their way to church or on their way to dinner and see you on the side of the road sitting outside of your car and will pull over and this motherfucker will get to working on your car like it's his motherfucking car on some real shit. And you won't hear anything about a motherfucking payment, no, none of that. Just doing off the strength of, well, you sit on the side of the road. And back home, that's not really how that shit work. Like, what do you have for me first before we get to talking about what I can do for you? And that's just really how that shit go. And excuse me, y'all. So you got that. You have the You have dropping lighters and shit. So yeah, I only been called like surprisingly on some real shit. I probably only been called a nigger twice since I've been here, and I think the first time the lady called me that shit by accident, like on some real shit. When I was working at a store, she was saying something to me in like in mid conversation, like that shit slipped out of her mouth, like I don't even think she even realized she said it until like my face was just like the fuck. But yeah, on some real shit. That she was just talking some nigger. Yeah. Not even nigga, like nigger with the ER and shit like that. I was like, the fuck? Um yeah, motherfuckers will come write that shit on the walls and just all types of bullshit. But other than that, it's not you gonna have your racism anywhere. And honestly, just to be honest with you, I say California is probably going to be more racist than the South or from the area that I'm in, just because I have my own personal reasons for that, and I'll just give you one of them. Like I said, California is a real expensive place to live in. So, in my personal experience, white people down there, when they see you have shit that they don't have, and they know it costs a lot to get that shit, then they have certain problems. Because how the fuck did this nigga get this shit and I can't even get food on the table for my motherfucking kids? And that's how we start being labeled X, Y, and Z. And motherfucker don't even know. You might have a good ass job. You ain't even got to be selling drugs or pussy. Shit like that. And that's why I always say California is going to be more racist just because California, they don't like to see niggas actually have shit. They don't. As soon as you have something nice, then you got questions. Well, how did you get this? You don't work. You don't, motherfuckers start assuming what the fuck it is that you do and what you don't do. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, those are just some things that I say is what you gotta think about and what you should know when moving to the south. You know, um, another thing, gun laws. Gun laws is strict. I mean, not strict, but let me tell you the difference between the gun law in California and the gun law here. California, they gonna want a sperm sample, a hair sample. They want to know if you could do a backflip with a cartwheel, and then hit one of them triple axles in the air and land up, and then can you sit here and count to twos all the way to a trillion? They want to know when your mama had a parking ticket. They just want too much goddamn information to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? But they get the cops guns within a few months though. But out here, California is known for kick dough. For those who don't know what kick dough is, a lot of y'all do know what kick dough is, but that's when it's exactly what it sounds like. You go play kick dough, you go run in motherfuckers' houses and you robbing motherfuckers and all types of shit. Down south would be the wrong place to play some kick dough. Everybody in they mama has a gun down here. Let me say that again. Everybody in they mama has a gun down here. I'm so serious. From the old ass fragile lady you see, her ass is packing too. I can guarantee you that. It's like a right out here to be able to have your gun. Can you imagine walking into your local gas station or liquor store, grab you a water bottle and some gum or some chips, and walking right out? How long does that take? You would say if there's like a line and shit, you might be in the store about 5, maybe 10 minutes, if that. It can honestly take you 5 to 10 minutes to buy your gun out here. Like you walk into the store, you look at what you want. If you got the money, they handing that shit over to you. Of course they got they restrictions, but it's simple shit. If you have any domestic violence cases against you, pending or even in the past, you can't get no gun. Felons and all that shit, you can't get no gun. Um, shit like that's like all over the world with that shit. But other than that, yeah, you can walk in and leave with a gun in less than 10 minutes, less than 15 minutes, whatever the case may be. But it's no hassle here. And the part that I'm in, I see more people dying from getting hit by cars than I do from gunfire. You know what I'm saying? Really, not too many gun exchanges over here because it's pointless. Everybody has one. It's really gonna be a gunfight, for real, for real, for real. So if you a gun connoisseur, you like your guns, you always want to have you a gun. I say, of course, have you a gun for the right reasons, not for no negativity or no dumb shit. Guns should be to protect yourself. And that's it. That's all. So yeah, if you are want to be a gun owner, down south is actually the place to do it. Um, no permits and things like that. How you would have to have paperwork and da 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 da. Like it's to the point where like even the police really don't even ask you if you have a gun on you type of shit because they low key kind of assume like they ask that question down here like a different way. You know what I'm saying? But because they pretty much assume like yeah this motherfucker got a gun. Like this is Mississippi. Who don't have a gun? Like seriously, a motherfucker will look at you kind of odd probably if you didn't have a gun. And I'm so motherfucking serious right now. Everybody has a gun down here. It is no like crazy gun violence here. So it all pans out and it works out. So yeah, if you want to be a gun owner, here would be the place to do that shit. People are sitting here walking in stores, gun on their hip with a tank top on, right past the police. No questions, no nothing. It's a thing. Like the first time I seen that shit down here when I was working at a store, motherfucker walked up this motherfucker with a big ass gun on his ass. So like, what the fuck? And I'm looking like this motherfucker is crazy. Nah, that motherfucker was doing shit legally, like the right way. Like that's the thing here. Like, what are you talking about? It's basically how it got put to me. Like this is a gun state. You know what I'm saying? This is a gun state. You don't have to have a permit to have a handgun on you, as long as it's motherfucking concealed. You do that shit to California, see they'll throw the book at your ass. For real. You really gotta have some paperwork to have you some kind of artillery. Motherfuckers are still gonna have it. Motherfuckers are still gonna have it. But hiding it and all this shit, all this paperwork is that's not a thing here. That's just not a thing here. So that was a shock to me. That was almost as big as the weather shit. Like to me, how it could be raining and still hot outside. You know what I'm saying? Like on some Cat Williams shit, you really don't know what to wear. Boots and some pants. Do you wear boots with the jeans? I mean, what the fuck do you do? Sandals with the jeans? I mean, really, what the fuck do you do? With this goddamn weather. But those are just some things that I thought I would share with y'all. Hopefully, I didn't ramble. But those are some things I share with y'all. Now, I will sit here and tell you my personal pros and cons about being down here. Pros: fresh start, kind of, sort of, in a way. Fresh start, new scenery, which allows me to grow more. I get to see more, experience more different things in general. Um, oh, hopefully I remind I remember to bring up the difference of the food here, because fuck, fuck. Um, Let me get into that shit right now because I can't wait for this shit. I can't do it. The food here, number one, the food is good. The food is good. The South can throw down. The South can throw down. Period. Point blank. The Mexican food out here compared to the Mexican food in California, I'm gonna have to say it doesn't compare. And that's just me. That's just my personal But the seafood down here, this is a seafood place. The crab, they have crawfish cook-offs and things like that. That shit is big out here. The seafood is big out here. But when I get to like talking to new people, one of the first questions I always ask them is, "What kind of food do you eat?" Weird ass question, right? But when you in the South, not really. Not really having had none of this shit in California or people who have had this shit. And the people who told me they have ate this shit in California is from the South. You know what I mean? But squirrel, possum, deer, gator, um, boar, whatever the fuck that is. Um, I'm pretty sure there's some other shit, but all of that shit right there, I'm not interested in trying none of that shit. I'm not interested in eating no squirrels, gators, possums, boar. Like you can be driving down the street or at a goddamn gas station, see a motherfucker with a big ass boar in the back of his motherfucking truck, or a motherfucking deer just bleeding it like a motherfucker profusely in the back of a truck. Like antlers just hanging off the back of the goddamn pickup truck and shit, with just like yeah, eyes just fucked up, and it's like god damn. And you hear these dudes talking about yeah, man, we're gonna go back to the house and grind up some of these boar sausages. Grind up some boar sausages. The fuck? Like they really over here like cutting up, butchering animals and shit like that. Um, and my city ass, I'm like, ugh, like hell no. I'll just go to Walmart and get me some ground beef or some steaks or some chicken. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers down here, they'll go buy a whole ass chicken, kill it, pluck it, cut it, cook it. By the time you get done with that shit, I done already fried me up a whole batch of wings though, my dude. So it's like fuck that. But clearly that shit has its motherfucking perks though. You know what I'm saying? Being able to butcher your own meat and things like that. But that's just not a thing to do in Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't see no deers walking through the hood and shit like that. Like none of that shit. Like, you don't see no deers walking through the projects, my G. But yeah, that's just some shit you're gonna have to get used to. And which brings me to my next thing. The goddamn insects. Man. So even coming from back home, if you got roaches in your house, you was like a dirty motherfucker. It's how like the world see it. It's kind of how I see it. Da 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 da. Um, you can go to somebody's house out here. It could be the cleanest of house, and they still might have a roach problem. And the reason for that is because a lot of these houses is they tear this area down like yearly and build up these places. So these houses is damn near like in the middle of the forest. You know what I'm saying? And you can only imagine what the fuck is in the middle of the forest, right? Right. So all that shit, and then they tearing shit down, all these bugs and rodents and shit, they gotta go somewhere, right? Right. So me, I do not deal with motherfucking rodents. I hate rats. I hate snakes. Depending on where you live, you can, and there's a high chance, depending on where you live, you can come outside and have a whole ass snake on your goddamn front porch, under the hood of your car, in your grass. You know what I'm saying? Already in your house, falling out the ceiling and shit like that. I'm so motherfucking serious. Um, I didn't been to motherfuckers' houses where I was on the way to this one girl house one time, right? She stayed like a little bit in the country type shit. Like 20 minutes from my house. And it's all back streets too. That's the crazy part. So I'm on the way over there and I'm on the phone and she's talking about some. It's really how I heard it. Some snake in my front yard. All I heard was snake in my front yard. That's all I needed. You know what I'm saying? Um, to turn my ass around and go back to where snakes wasn't gonna be at, which was at my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't deal with that type of shit. I can't deal with that type of shit at all. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? That's just some shit that shit is just not for me. Even the butterflies look like they take steroids. The butterflies is hella big. The roaches is hella big. Um, Big flying motherfuckers on top of that. Like, I don't know what the fuck, but even the ants got legs. Yeah, we ants already had legs, arms, whatever the fuck. No, these motherfuckers is long, they big, they be bench pressing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they walk around with pistols and shit, like on some real shit. I bullshit you not. Like, it's crazy. It's mad crazy. But other than that, um, yeah, I'm just not an insect person. You know, I'm not a nature person. I don't want to go hunting. I don't want to go camping. Uh, yeah, I don't want to do none of that shit. But out here, you know, you just gonna have to be ready to run into something. Even down the street from my house, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got pets, you gotta watch where you live at because they have, like, at nighttime and shit, and even sometimes in the middle of the day, they have motherfucking packs of foxes, wolves, whatever the fuck, coyote, whatever the fuck that shit is. They have packs of those motherfuckers walking through the hood. Did you hear me? Walking. It's a fucking fox, a coyote. Nigga, it don't matter. You not a pit bull, you not a dog, you not a German shepherd, nigga, German shepherd, a poodle, none of that. It's a fucking coyote walking down the street. All my smokers out there, just imagine just getting done smoking, or even the drinkers. You finna walk to the store because you don't want to drive, whatever the fuck the case may be, and it's just like right across the street. Can you imagine coming out your house and you see a family of fox looking at you? Ho high, gone, gone. I used to have to walk home when I first got down here. I used to have to walk home. It would be like an hour walk. And I'm walking like at 5 in the morning. I used to be a goddamn nervous wreck. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, it's gonna be the coyote this night. Like, is a motherfucking snake gonna try to get me? Am I finna get attacked by some gangster frogs? I don't know. I'm just a whole ass bitch when it come to nature. I don't give a fuck. Uh, I mean, yeah, it just is what it is. Like, I just do not like dealing with nature, man. I'm not Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, none of that shit. I can deal with some bullshit for some people, but I cannot deal with no motherfucking nature though. I just can't do it. So yeah, if you can get over that shit or you ain't worried about them things, this might be the place for you. You can save you some motherfucking money here. You got plenty of spots you can go vacation on. You can wake up one morning and want to go to Miami and get there that same day. You can wake up and want to go to New Orleans and get there that same day and still get home. You know what I mean? You can fucking drive to New Orleans a couple times in one day, if that's what you chose to do. Instead of having to book a flight and then be gone and just to come all the way back. Like, this is a real prime location to hit different areas up, and there's all type of different things going on here yearly. Um, all type of things going on here yearly, from athletic things to concerts to cook-offs, um, just statewide parties and things like that. There's if you're that type of person, the South could really be a place for you. Um, and one last thing I want to leave it off as is which one thing was a big ass shock to me. This was a big ass shock to me. Until this day, you know, this is one of the things that is like a burden on one of my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Just on one of them, not both. But the gang culture. You know, that's another reason why I left California. That's one of them. You know, I didn't deal with what I had to do, and it's kind of hard to grow in a place where you got so many issues at. You know, you can't even go to the store and just worry about going to the store. You gotta go to the store, worry about who in that store, who you gonna see coming out that store, who seen you going to that store. You know what I mean? Like so much shit comes into leaving a household, even being in a household when you staying in the projects of a place where you have all your issues at. You know what I'm saying? So to actually be able to get out of that environment and not worry about that shit so much, you're still gonna watch your surroundings no matter where you go. But to be able to really sit here and just not have to worry about it as much to the degree I had to worry about it back home, it gives me more time to think. You know what I'm saying? It really give me more time to think and get other shit accomplished than whether like worrying about shit that really don't have nothing to do with shit. Well, ain't gonna help me pay no motherfucking bills. And the only thing that back home was gonna help me with was get a long sentence, you know what I'm saying, or a nice coffin. That's it, that's all. That's all it had to offer. And to be honest, that's what I was offering my motherfucking self, you know what I'm saying? But getting out of that shit and then coming here. There's gangs all over the world, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't until I had a little incident and I had went to jail real quick, right? uh, I went to jail and shit. I wasn't thinking nothing of it. I mean, it is what it is. Nobody wants to be there, but we here. So I go to jail, right? And I'm changed out the clothes and shit. I'm in my holding cell. Now, if I was back home in California, I'll be seeing shit like Sir 13 or some N with some 14 crossed out or some CKBK shit or just, some area code type of shit that I know what the fuck the area code is or some phrases that I know what the fuck means and shit like that. Man, when I was in this motherfucking holding cell shit, um, I'm looking at this motherfucking wall. This shit got GD, GDK, BD, BDK, and BD, and just GD, and then Vice Lords, and nigga, all this shit. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, cuz, what the fuck is a GD? What the fuck is a BD? Vice Lords. I'm like, I think I heard that name before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I heard of Vice Lord before, but I don't know what the fuck that shit is. I'm thinking, wait, is that the Mexicans and then the Puerto Ricans and shit? Oh no, that's the Latin Kings, and that just goes to tell you, I don't know shit about shit. I come from the era of the Crips. You know what I'm saying? The Crips, the Bloods, the Pyrus, the Norths, the Serranios, nigga, Brown Pride, shit like that. The only thing that I was familiar with down here was them skinheads. You know what I'm saying? That's the closest thing to I know what the fuck y'all is. I don't know if a GD was a blood, was a crip. Do they even do blood and crip? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there thinking, like, cuz what the fuck is all of this shit? Like, for real, what the fuck is all of this shit? Um, until this day, you know what I'm saying? Um, I still don't really know what the fuck all that shit is because I try to leave that life alone. You know what I'm saying, and just live my life and do what I got to do. I done been came from that shit already, but I do find that um Vice Lords, nigga, I fuck with the Vice Lords and the GDs down here, but I will tell you that I just fuck with the GDs a little bit more. I don't know why. I don't know if that says something about me, but I'm really not sure neither one of these niggas is. As far as I'm concerned, that's Mississippi business or whoever else city got GDs and shit like that and BDs and all this shit. I don't know, but yeah, I ain't here for all that. I look at all these motherfuckers as black, black, and the end. Um, Yeah, when they get into all that banging shit and talking shit about this, that, and third, I don't got nothing to say about none of that shit. Still don't. Like I said, that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. But it is a big ass shock though to see some other than Crips and Bloods though. You know, you want something totally different. When I was looking at that wall, I was sitting there like, damn, like it's like me looking at some Aztec writing and shit. I'm sitting there like I'm really sitting there scratching my head like the fuck. You know, you gotta get classified and shit like that, which I'm already classified, but I'm just a regular crip, nigga. What? Asking me shit about this, bro, nigga. I'm from California, cat. Like, nah, I'm not with none of that shit y'all got going on, my nigga. Like, negative. So yeah, that was a huge shock to me. Was the whole gang culture and shit like that. But yeah, maybe one day I'll learn the history and shit, but it's just not on my to do list though. It is what it is. I fuck with the GDs, the Viceroys, whatever the fuck, man. Do y'all thing. Continue to do y'all thing, man. And yeah, and that's just how it is. I'm pretty sure I probably left some shit out though. Um, but if you got like some questions or anything that I really didn't answer, you feel free to drop me a comment, let me know, and I will pick up on those things. Um, there's just so much that that I get asked and shit. So hopefully this video helps some people out on what to expect and what not to expect, and maybe some things that I say that I probably don't even remember, you know what I mean, stuck with you and things like that. But if I didn't hit the nail on the head the first time, let me know. And yeah, I would like to run that shit by so I can give you a better perspective on what it is that I go through, what the fuck it is that I see, and how I feel about these certain things and shit like that. So yeah, drop me a comment. Most definitely let me know what you think.